If you a person who's interested in the truth in any situation, you are a person who's interested in the truth, you are a person who's interested in evolving, you are a person who's interested in freedom. I don't like this light actually. Let me fix the light quickly as people are joining. This looks much better. Look, if you're a person who is interested in the truth, you're interested in your own freedom, you're interested in evolving, you want to understand the nature of reality, these are things that are important, right? You do have every right to understand what is going on. Never ever feel like you're a bad person for trying to learn the truth. Because I know most of people who have been trying to figure out what the truth is, they've been gaslighted. Especially if you are thinking in a way that can get you closer to truth. There will be people who will gaslight you. There will be people who will be against you. There will be a lot of things that you're not going to get in society just because you are standing for the truth and you want the truth. You have to understand that. And that's one of the biggest reasons why society seem to favor lies. Is because people have realized in the past that truth put them in trouble. Truth made it hard for them to get certain things that they needed. Some of y'all are so authentic that it's so hard for you to be fake, right? It's so hard for you to be intellectually dishonest. So because of that, society is fighting against you in a way that might not really be visible, right? In a way that might not be like obvious. But but you can tell that your truth make people uncomfortable. Your authenticity make people uncomfortable. So if you're a person who cares about the truth, you care about your own evolution, you you're not a hater. You don't really hate anyone. Your main focus is yourself. You're focusing on yourself, you're focusing on your own growth. You want to understand what is going on. You want to have freedom, you want to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your focus. Realize that you will automatically have enemies. You're nobody's enemy, but you will automatically have enemies. You're nobody's enemy because you're not focusing on others. You're not like, yeah, I want this person to suffer, or um, I want things to not work out for this person, or I want to embarrass this person. Stuff like that. Like, that's not your focus. Your focus is yourself. Your focus is your own freedom. Because we're not supposed to focus on that. And history proves that, those who focus on becoming free, they become a target automatically. So if you are closer to freedom, you automatically attract enemies by default. The matrix itself has a way of identifying those who truly want freedom, those who truly want to evolve, those who truly want the truth. You know, so once you're identified, know that the world won't fight fair. Because every day we make videos talking about this realm, how crazy it is out here, but we kind of expect things to be fair, you know. So when things that are unfair happen, we complain. Why? Because we're expecting things to be fair for us. But how can things be fair in a realm where you're not supposed to thrive, especially if you think the way that you do, especially if you really care about the truth? You can't expect this realm to be the same way that you can't expect. Let me give you this simple example. If an animal that is a prey cannot expect its hunters to be fair, understand? Like it cannot expect its hunters to be fair. They're going to use whatever strategy they can think of to catch their prey as easily as they can, because that's their focus. They want to. That's why the people who are producing like meat, for an example, they're doing it as fast as they can to make profit, right? They're not going to be like, yeah, we also have to think about the well-being of this chicken. We also have to, care about these pigs, and like they don't care. So these animals cannot expect, these people who are producing meat to be fair to them. So it's how it works in this realm. If you're not causing suffering, if you're only focusing on your own growth, your own evolution, figuring out what the truth is, you automatically become a target. You're not the one who wants to make things hard for others. You actually want to liberate others. Those who want others to not be free will not fight fair. So sometimes I think we forget that. I think the way that you think as a human has consequences. If you don't think in a way that aligns with the interest of this matrix that is controlling us, then the matrix has to be against you by default. The matrix has to make things a bit harder for you. The matrix has to challenge you. Why? Because if it allowed you to thrive, if it made things easier for you, it will get to a point where you dominate. So it must put obstacles in your way so that you'll be discouraged. I remember telling you guys that a lot of people who become uh, very conscious in life, they've actually had to go through a lot of things in the beginning. I don't think they went through these things so that they can evolve. I think they went through these things so that they will be discouraged, but somehow they managed to evolve. People who go through a lot, they end up struggling to cope or to actually function, right? So the matrix knows exactly what it's doing. It's like this. It's like if you're an enemy fighter, right? You're supposed to fight the biggest fight of your life, and your opponent knew that you were better than them and you probably would win. So they do something that affects you on a personal level so that your focus is not in the fight, so that they can beat you. So that's what this realm does. It knows your strength, it knows your weaknesses. So it tries to bring you down so that when the time is right for you to evolve, you struggle to evolve. That is why many of you tell me that, hey, I have I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from this and that. It has to do with what you've had to go through when you were young. Trauma is a real thing. The way that we respond to trauma is actually is actually a sign that experiencing traumatic event isn't actually a positive thing. If, for an example, you were supposed to teach people things, right? Let's say you were very intelligent, you had a lot of wisdom, you were supposed to teach people things. You might find that when you were young, when you stood in front of people and tried to, give a presentation or something, other kids will laugh at you, and it got to a point where you became afraid. You're like, oh, whenever I stand up in front of people and I express myself, they respond this way. So I'm not gonna do so. Because of that trauma, it's hard for you to, express yourself. So you must understand that this realm is not fighting fair. It knows your weaknesses. It knows it has studied you. If you look at the way things like technology work, for an example, you can tell that, of course, also as humans, we've been studied. You know, whatever is controlling this room knows how we are, how we think, how we'll respond to certain situations. That's why it's very easy for for humanity to be controlled. Whatever is controlling this room knows that someone like Benedictine, if we put him in this kind of situation, he won't be able to thrive. In this kind of situation, he will be discouraged. In this kind of situation, he will be frustrated. In this kind of situation, he will produce loosh. So let's put him in this kind of situation. 20 years from now, he's going to be like this, he's going to be like that because we put him in this kind of situation. Realize what you're truly dealing with, because sometimes people forget that. Sometimes people think that, it's all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah. If you are truly trying to figure out what is going on, um, you're automatically a target, because we were never meant to be free. Think of it this way. Let's just say you were in jail and your focus was getting out, right? You're focusing on getting out. That's your focus. Would you expect the prison guards to be on your side? Would you expect the prison guards to be like, yeah, this guy is intelligent, he's trying to figure out ways to get out? No, that's not what they're interested in. What they're really interested in is that you remain in prison. So if you are this person who is questioning everything, who is trying to understand reality, which is something that you're not supposed to understand. Looking at how much we're not being told about reality, you can tell that there is a lot that we're not supposed to understand. Right? If we're supposed to understand what is going on, we will understand what's going on by now. We've been here for a very long time as conscious beings, so there will be a lot that we will understand. But somehow, uh, we still know nothing about our reality, and it seems like there is no one to tell us what is going on, right? There is no one who can actually tell you what is going on, who really knows what's going on. But the real truth is that there are people who know something but who don't want to tell us. Think of what they're telling us about the three-eye atlas, for an example. They've only told us that, hey, there's something that is coming, blah blah blah, but they're not really addressing this. They're not. Think about it. Does it make sense that uh, NASA, like everyone on TikTok, is talking about three-eye antlers, and NASA is not saying anything at all? They don't come out and say, you know what, the whole thing was a lie. It's not an alien. It's not this and that. Do you understand how much the people who are in power are keeping from us? They are working. because it seems like they're working for us, right? They're supposed to come and say, "Hey, man, don't be scared. There's no three-eye atlas, or there is, but then it's not catered towards us. It's as far as we know, it's just this and that. But no, they don't care about clarifying things. It's because they don't want us to know things. I do believe that there are people who know some things about reality, things that could help us, right? As people who are trying to evolve and understand reality, there are people who can come and tell you something that can change your life, right? They can give you knowledge that can truly change your life, but they don't, because it's not in the best interest of the matrix for you to actually know what is going on, because you will behave differently, you will think differently, you will become more and more powerful. When you read the story of Adam and Eve, I think it's kind of like the same thing that is happening in this world. You know, we there are places we're not supposed to go. Uh, there are people we're not supposed to hear. There are levels of consciousness we're not supposed to reach, because we're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to gain wisdom. We're not supposed to gain real knowledge. You hear what I'm saying? That's why we get punished. Don't expect the enemy to fight fair. Don't expect the enemy to make your life easy, bro. I don't think that things work the way we think they work in this realm. Remember when you watched WWE as a child? It felt like the things that were happening were not scripted, right? Like things are just happening randomly, and that was entertaining to you. It's only when you got older that you realize, oh, the whole thing was scripted. I remember that there were still people who were debating, uh, maybe 10 years ago, about whether the whole thing, the whole is scripted or not. I think reality is like that. It's scripted, but you're not supposed to see that it is scripted. You're not supposed to see that there is a force behind reality that is ensuring that things happen a certain way. Like, we are not just evolving without anything behind the scene that is ensuring that we're evolving the way that it wants us to evolve. Whenever we do things that are against what what it wants, then it does what it can to make sure that we were headed where it wants us to go. Don't expect the enemy to fight fair, man. There is a lot that you are fighting, that's fighting against you, basically. So you have to fight. Not that you're fighting against, like, what you want is your freedom, right? But there will be a lot of forces that will fight against you for wanting freedom, because somehow they feel entitled, like they must own you, they must control you. And you can tell that the matrix itself feels entitled, like it owns you, it owns your life, it owns your body. That's why you can't really have autonomy. Does it make sense to you that a conscious being, uh, like you, who's operating at your level of consciousness, should not have autonomy? If you're interested in freedom, trust me, this realm will automatically be against you. Your life will be hard, and you won't understand why. You will deal with challenges, and it won't make sense to you. You just think, hey, man, because, okay, this is weird. Usually these days when I go live, there's a network problem. I don't understand what's causing it. I mean, remember the last time when I went live, there was a network problem. Weird, but we're back. People find excuses for their suffering. I've realized that a person who will not get a job, for example, they're looking for a job, a good job, because, well, they're broke and there are a lot of things that they need. So they want some money. Maybe they want to to pay for them. Maybe they want to pay for something really important in their life, right? They want money, but they're not getting a job. They will make an excuse for not getting a job. Like, okay, I'm not getting a job because I don't qualify to get a job. Only if I s- uh, took the right course, only if I was in this province. Now, it's not because of that. It's because the whole, like, this room is controlled by a force that you don't see. It's not really up to you. Like, that is why I tell people that, man, do what you can to have the life that you want, but don't expect this realm to give you what you want. You are different. This realm knows the kind of people that it wants to reward the most. It knows that. It knows that if it rewards someone who thinks like Benedictine, let's just say it rewards him so much that he gets to the top for real, like he gets to have power for real, a lot will change. It knows that. But like, okay, the people who must be on top, it must be people who are not interested in speaking the truth, who don't want people to know the truth. Me, unlike most people, I find joy in telling people what I think they don't know, or telling people what I think makes sense, saying something that I feel is true. Like, I find a lot of joy in doing that. But it's not how many people are. Many people are interested in getting what they can get from this realm, saying what they need to say to get what they want to get in this realm. So of course, those who speak the highest truth won't be, like, they will have to deal with a lot of challenges so that they will be discouraged. And one of the questions that people might ask themselves is that, why are people who are pursuing truth still allowed to thrive? I think there is something that this room is benefiting from, all of us. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're pursuing truth or not. There is something that this room is actually benefiting. So it will still allow you to be here. It will still allow you not to thrive, not like easily. Like, you can still thrive if you're fighting hard enough to thrive, but it's not gonna be easy. Like, it's not gonna make it easy for you to thrive. It will be against you, but there will still be things that it will be gaining from you. So it will still allow you to be here. Pay attention to the things that are happening in your life and stop blaming yourself. Right? Stop blaming yourself for the things that are happening in your life, especially if it's things that uh, you feel directly responsible for. Stop blaming yourself. The whole thing is scripted. You are busy blaming yourself, losing a lot of energy over something that you can't really control. You don't even know what's going to happen when you do something. I remember I watched a video on Facebook of this lady. She was driving. She caused an accident and she cried. I'm not saying you mustn't like, you must be like, okay, I caused an accident, I mustn't blame myself. And like, you mustn't have that kind of attitude, but you must understand that things that happen are not things that you saw happening. Your intention was not for things to go bad. Only blame yourself if something bad happened and your intention was for these bad things to happen, right? But if you do something and things don't go your way, then you can't blame yourself, because by blaming yourself, you're also giving a lot of loosh to the matrix, right? You're also losing a lot of energy. You're not protecting your energy. Understand that you're not truly in control. Things can still not go your way no matter how hard you're trying. You can still find yourself suffering a lot, no matter how hard you're trying not to suffer. You can still find yourself failing, no matter how hard you're trying to win, right? So realize how things truly work in this realm. Think of people who are suffering now from things that you can tell that no matter what they like how they would have lived their life, they will still suffer from these things. Someone suffers from cancer at the age of 20, and you're like, what's going on? You know, someone gets abused. Um, someone was born in a country where there's war. Someone gets bullied. Someone's born in a toxic family where they go through hell every day. Ask yourself why this realm doesn't treat people the same. Why people are not treated equally. It's a very important question to ask yourself. It's because this realm is against some people. A lot of people who are trying to figure out what the truth is, who are trying to evolve, who are intellectually honest, they go through the same things. Everywhere they go through the same things. It doesn't matter which country they were born in. It doesn't matter what kind of family they were born into. They deal with the same things. So it makes me realize that no, man, actually, there's a force that is against some people, and it ensures that they go through the same things because whatever it's doing has been working. It knows that if a person is operating at a higher level of consciousness, this is what's going to discourage them. So, like, okay, this must happen. So, this kind of people must deal with this kind of thing so that they will be discouraged. So you have to try your best to be strong in a world like this, no matter what is happening in your life. Make sure that you are not afraid to pursue truth, and you don't feel guilty for suffering, because when you pursue truth and things don't go your way, you start to feel guilty. You see, if you do something hoping for good results, but something bad happens, you tend to blame yourself. You start feeling guilty, like, "Ish, but I shouldn't have done things this way." No, do not feel guilty for pursuing truth. Do not feel guilty for trying to evolve. Do not feel guilty for trying to understand what this is. You deserve the truth. You deserve to know. Never let anyone gaslight you, man. People will gaslight you. People will try to give you their own truth and make you feel like a bad person for not believing their truth or what they're telling you. To be like, oh, you're confused. That's why you don't believe what I believe. Oh, you're only suffering because you don't believe what I believe. You know what I'm saying? They will gaslight you. As long as you are intellectually honest, you're on the right path. And it all boils down to that. Are you intellectually honest or not? Are you choosing to do the things that make sense even when you are afraid? Remember when I said it's important that you must choose love over fear? Meaning that if you find yourself in a situation where you could do something that you actually want to do that's gonna help you, and you know it's gonna help you. I mean, you know it can, not that it will, and but you're afraid. You're like, what if things go wrong? And you choose not to do it. You're choosing fear over love. And that's what this realm wants. That is why it has been discouraging you. It wants you to be fearful. It knows that you are intuitive enough to go to the right direction. But if you are traumatized and fearful, then you won't take the right path. You will act like an NPC even though you're not an NPC. That's what this room wants. It wants you to act like an NPC. It doesn't want you to act like this highly conscious being. A lot of people who are highly conscious, they don't live life like they are very conscious. They live life the same way that NPCs are living life. You know, you look at them and be like, there's no difference between how you're living life and the way that an NPC is living life. So, what is the point of being conscious if you're going to live life the same way that an NPC is living their life? Because you're afraid of being judged. This room knows that you're afraid of being judged. It knows. It knows that if you take the right path and you have people judge you, you have people gaslight you, all of that, it discourages you, right? You start to doubt yourself. You start to think, hey man, maybe there's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? And you try to be like everyone else. You try to fit in. You allow the NPCs to control you. Choose love over fear all the time. If you can live life like that, I believe you will eventually set yourself free because you know what you're truly interested in. You know what makes sense. It's not that you don't know what makes sense. Like what's really missing, really, now is courage. I think a lot of people who are pursuing truth, if they can trust their intuition, they will evolve. So what's truly lacking is courage. That okay, you know the truth, fine. Or you're intellectually honest enough, fine. What do you do? What is the next step? Are you gonna be like, yeah, I know the truth, but I'm just gonna think about it and that's it. I'm not gonna live life the way that the person who's conscious supposed to live life. I'm just gonna be like everyone else while I'm thinking at the highest level. It must show that you are thinking at the highest level. It helps, it helps. Trust me, there will be challenges, like real challenges, bro, like serious challenge. People will talk about you and they will say a lot of negative things about you, and all of that will be so that you'll be discouraged because remember, you're not supposed to evolve. If you're not facing any adversity at all, chances are you're not on the right path. If you're facing a lot of adversity, like there are problems left and right, chances are you're on the right path. These problems only exist in your life because you're on the right path. They exist so that you will be discouraged, because that was the whole point, is that you will be discouraged. You can't expect the enemy to fight fair in a room like this, man. It You will go through things that will make you realize that nah, the whole thing is unfair. But you mustn't look at that as a problem. It must be something that you expect. If you were a slave and um, let's say you were living in a plantation, for an example, if you were, if you truly wanted freedom and slave owners knew that you wanted freedom, they will treat you worse than they're treating other slaves. Sometimes they will not give you food. Like they will try their best to break your spirit. Why? They want you to be submissive. They want you to be like other slaves, right? Because if you're not like other slaves and they're not punishing you, other slaves will be like, oh, so there's no punishment for trying to be free. There's no punishment for being intelligent. There's no punishment for um, wanting to know, wanting to have some level of freedom. There's no punishment. So that means we can all try to be like this guy because whatever he's doing is working. But if you try to be free and they beat you up in front of everyone, there's a reason why slaves were beaten in front of everyone. They won't punish you um, privately. No, no, no. They have to humiliate you in public. So everyone must see you getting humiliated so that they'll be like, oh, shoot. So there's punishment for trying to be free. There's punishment for trying to be like that guy. And some of the slaves are going to look at you and be like, oh, that guy is stupid. Why did he do what he did? You know? So in this realm, sometimes uh, things will happen in front of everyone so that people will not try to be like you. People will think that oh, being like you is not the way to go because these kind things can happen. You know, no. If you're on the right path, trust me, you will deal with a lot. But don't be discouraged. You have to keep on fighting, man. Keep on fighting for your own freedom. Keep on being as intellectually honest as possible. And what I will say is that the more you feel like there's adversity in your life, double down. Do not do not feel like you must give up. You must now be like, okay, this is not the right path. Blah 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 blah. No, if it just double down. Keep on going. Keep on doing what you were doing. I do believe that as a conscious being, you have power. I do believe that because you're not a robot, right? You are experiencing reality that that is not even supposed to be possible. I think you are experiencing reality because you're something powerful, but that has been that have that forgot what it is, right? So you're very powerful, but you forgot what you are. And the plan is to keep you in a low state of consciousness so that you never remember what you are. That is why w- when you seek for truth, you are you are punished. So there is something that is benefiting from your existence that will not benefit from your freedom. So if you were free, whatever is benefiting from your existence will not benefit anymore. So that is why that's why you're suffering. You're not doing things that are benefiting you. You are doing things that are benefiting this thing. The same way that if you were a slave, you will suffer because you're doing things that are benefiting your master, right? You're not doing things that are benefiting you. So even if you have an idea, you're like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is how I want my life to be, you're not allowed. You're punished for pursuing your own goals. So that's what's happening here. Because what you're interested in is your own evolution, you must be punished. Because you're not supposed to evolve. You're supposed to remain at a low state of consciousness so that whatever is benefiting will continue to benefit from your existence. That is why it's cool to be ignorant. If you realize that it's actually cool to be ignorant, like when people, if you've been in a place where there's a lot of people who believe the same thing, and you said something that they don't believe, the way that they're gonna react will tell you everything about this realm. People are ignorant when they are many. Like if you're gonna be communicating with people who are many and you say things that are truthful, like things that are really truthful, and there's wisdom in what you're saying, you will see that you're dealing with NPCs for real. There are a lot of NPCs who are only here to make sure that the truth is not taken seriously. They will start reacting. You could be saying things that truly make sense, things that could truly liberate people. As long as you say things that are going to liberate people, the NPCs will be forced to react, to discourage you, but also to make other people think that, nah, man, this dude is not on the right path. So you must understand what you're actually dealing with. You are in a world where you are not supposed to know the truth about anything, really. The reason why I tell you that you're powerful is because if you weren't powerful, you would have been given the truth because you will do nothing about it. I think what I'm telling you is really powerful, guys. If if you own different animals, and there were animals that you knew, like, yeah, these animals can, like, uh, can escape, and I won't be able to control them. These animals, you make sure that they are in cages, but the animals that are not a threat, you know, chickens, you just let them roam around freely, right? But if you had lions, if you had tigers, of course you would make sure that they can't be free to roam around. You're afraid of them. So you will try your best to make sure that you take away their power. Maybe their power will, like, them being able to roam around, that's power, because they will be able to do something. So that's the reason why uh we're not being given the truth. We're not being given the truth because we're powerful enough to set ourselves free. If we knew the truth, you would know exactly what you need to do if you were given the truth. Like, you know exactly what you need to do. You wouldn't even hesitate. But if you're not told anything, you don't know anything. What You don't even know what you're supposed to be doing in the first place because you know nothing. You don't know uh if meditating all the time is the right thing. You don't know if isolating yourself is the right thing. You don't know if trying to awaken your kundalini is the right thing. You don't know if taking psychedelics is the right thing. Like, you uncertain. You're just trying to figure out what path to take, but you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? It's because you weren't supposed to. Your true power is in knowing. The most powerless people are people who know nothing. The most powerful people are people who know a lot. So if you know nothing, you don't have power. That is why there are people who are able to do things that we consider to be magic, because they know something that we don't know. So it tells you that what you need to seek is knowledge. You need to know. So you are powerful because if you knew what is really going on, you will know exactly what you need to do. So they'll rather lie to you and make you suffer for wanting the truth, punish you for wanting the truth, punish you for wanting what will set you free, because they don't want you to be free. So don't expect the enemy to fight fair, man. I think because we were raised to believe that this realm is on our side, we kind of expect things to work in our favor, no matter how we live life, without knowing what this realm really wants. There's a reason why this realm rewards evil. Ask yourself, why is it that those who seem to care less about other people, those who are willing to start wars, think about it. This is a very serious question that I'm asking you. People select people to become their leaders, people who are not afraid to start wars. Why? The president of a country be like, yeah, we need to invade that country, and we mustn't care what we do to the people in that country. Think about it. And that's someone who was selected by people. Why? It tells you a lot about this realm. That the people who are who actually get to be on top uh, are not people who are interested in what we are interested in, but why? How are they able to be on top? And why is it that those who are truly interested in liberating people don't actually get to be on top? Why? It's always been like that. Always. It's because we weren't supposed to be free. The truth is always suppressed. So if you're not really interested in the truth, you will only focus on what is popular, right? You only focus on what, like the only like true strength will be truth to you. Like what is working is will be truth to you. What what is popular will be truth to you. But well, it wouldn't be popular if it wasn't true. The most popular movie, like yeah, it wouldn't be a popular movie if it wasn't the best. The most popular people. This person wouldn't be popular if they weren't great. The politicians that everyone like. This person wouldn't be popular if they weren't standing up for the truth. Because you think strength is truth, power is truth. No. Just because something is working doesn't actually mean that it's good. If you think of movies like Idiocracy, you understand what I'm saying. If you live in a world full of idiots, they will dominate, and you will struggle to, like, they will be against you for being right. Your ideas won't be taken seriously. Isn't that what's happening in this realm? The ideas that are going to set us free are not taken seriously. Once you say something that is real, you will be mocked, right? But say things that are ain't real. Say things that keep people in a low state of consciousness. Uh, this realm will reward you to a point that you actually think that you're on the right path. Let's say you join a false religion and things start working in your life. You'll think, hey, things are working in my life because now I'm on the right path. No, things are working in your life because you're actually on the wrong path. You've actually sold your soul and you're no longer growing at all. So now things are working in your life and you're like, oh, it means I'm on the right path. No, you're actually in the wrong path. I've seen this happen to a lot of people. You find that a person is on the right path, they're doing the right things, and then they, because of suffering, they'll be like, you know what, let me try to believe in something else. And then they started believing in something else, and things started working out for them. The universe started giving them the things that they want without them doing anything to get these things. The universe is just giving them what they want, and they're like, oh, it means that this was the path that you should have taken all along. It's selling your soul. It's only doing what works. Yes, the universe will reward you for being ignorant. I've seen it do that like a lot of time, right? And it will discourage you if you're not ignorant. If you're intellectually honest, it will discourage you. Don't expect the enemy to fight fair. Like I keep on telling you that in a realm like this, we can't think we're supposed to be thriving. Why? Because we're not being given what we need to be able to thrive. We're given things that make it almost impossible to thrive. These things we have access to, these things are very easy to get. But if there's something that can truly help you thrive, you like it will be kept away from you. We're being given false religions. Why? So that we will be debating about these religions all the time and be ignorant, right? We'll be distracted basically. So you won't be able to do what you need to be doing as a conscious being because you're focusing on the wrong things. It's a distraction. Notice that if there's something that is happening that is big in the world that the whole world must actually be focusing on, there will be something else that will happen that will distract everyone. So that's how it works. You know, we're being given all these false religions so that we'll be distracted. Imagine if you started believing in a religion that is not true, but you felt like it was true. You will stop seeking for truth. You're like, oh, I found the truth. It will just be a distraction. So you will just be focusing your energy on something that is not even close to the truth. So you will not be evolving at all. You'll be remaining at the same level of consciousness. How can that be a good thing? That's what's happening in this realm, bro. So, in order to truly grow, stop expecting this realm to be fair. If sometimes it's fair to you, good, but don't expect it to be. When it's being unfair to you, don't blame yourself. I'm a bad person or I'm not strong. Like, no, chill. Focus on doing the things that are going to help. I refuse to believe that you're not supposed like you being free is a bad thing. I refuse to believe that. If what you want is your freedom, if what you want is your autonomy, if what you want is to know, to understand, to get how things really work, you are not doing anything wrong. You do this, you 100% deserve to know. You deserve to be lucid in this realm. You deserve to have control. Right now, most of us are living like slaves. And because uh, that's how everyone is living, it doesn't even seem like slavery, right? If everyone from this planet was taken to a new planet where there were beings that were more advanced than us who were controlling us, we wouldn't really look at it as slavery because It's something that we are all dealing with, right? It's something that we're all dealing with. So that's what's happening here. It's like you look at everyone and you're like, they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. Everyone has a 9 to 5 here. Everyone went to school here. Everyone is eating the kind of food that I'm eating here. Everyone, for them to have access to this, they must do this. You know what I'm saying? No. Who said the world must be like this? Realize that what you truly want is freedom. I think happiness is freedom. I think the reason why happiness is very rare in this realm is because we are being made to live life in ways that we don't want to live life, in ways that don't lead to freedom. So if you are living your life and you're not living for yourself, you're living for someone else, how can you truly be happy? You are doing things that you don't want to do, working jobs that you hate so that you can survive. That cannot bring happiness in your life. That will only discourage you. That will only keep you in a low state of consciousness. And that's what's happening. Know what kind of power this room has, and know what kind of power you have. The power that this room has over you is controlling reality itself. The power that you have is knowing how it works. It's knowledge. You have to know how it works. And I think you can know if you recognize patterns, if you pay attention to what is happening in your life, you pay attention to what happens in the lives of people who think like you will start to understand what you need to be doing. At this point, what we can truly rely on is intuition, because no one is going to confirm to us that what we think is the truth. No one, right? You can see that we're not being told anything. So now you need to rely on your intuition. You need to recognize patterns. You need to um, pay attention to what kind of information we're being given and what kind of information is being hidden from us. That will make you realize how this realm operates. The more you get closer to the truth, the more powerful you become. Truth is a superpower. Knowing the truth is actually a superpower. Trust me. Not knowing is like being handicapped. You know what I'm saying? Like you deserve to know, and it's really important. Knowledge can change your life. So know that this realm will gaslight you. It will use the people who are very close to you to gaslight you when you're on the right path, when you are speaking the truth, when you are evolving. Ever wondered why you care what other people think? I've been following, not necessarily following, but because on TikTok, whenever I come across a video from these people who um, talking about the king, like we're saying that they live in the kingdom of Kubala. I don't know if you've heard about them. I think they live in Scotland. People online are always criticizing them. Yeah, they live life in a weird way. But it made me ask a lot of questions. These people don't seem to care what other people think. So I asked myself a question: are they not more free than a lot of people? Because we tend to laugh at those who live life differently without realizing how free they are. Yes, it's possible to live life in a way that's not helping you. It's possible, but we tend to laugh at those who are right, those who are more free than we are, those who don't care what others think. Like, if you're truly going to evolve, you need to reach that level. And it's not that it's hard to reach that level where you don't care what others think. The problem is you're not taking the right actions. Like, whenever you find yourself in a situation where you're supposed to do something, you ask yourself, well, what are other people going to say? What are other people going to think? How do you evolve? How do you follow your intuition? I'm going to read a few comments, and then we go back to the things that I was saying. So there's going to be a few comments that I'm going to reach. I'm going to take a small break. Been sitting here for like an hour, so I need to take a small break. um yeah, keep on commenting, because when I come back, I'm gonna be reading the comment. Let's keep on liking the live. Yeah, let's keep this going. Slavery is normalized here. Let me tell you, one of the biggest mistakes that we are making as conscious beings, we don't want to believe what we see happening. Like, for an example, it is obvious that we are being controlled. That is something that is obvious. It's obvious that we are not autonomous. It is obvious that you can't just own a land, for an example, that doesn't even seem to be owned by someone if you don't have money. It's obvious that you can't really make money unless you're working for someone, and most of the jobs that people have um are not the jobs that they want, but also they are working too hard for what they are getting. It's obvious, but somehow we'll think that there is not slavery. If I have to wake up every day at 6, go to work, come back home at 6, and I'm barely making enough to be able to afford the things that I want, is that not slavery? How can I think that I'm not a slave? And how do we normalize that as a society? Because if this, if there was no force that is evil and that's controlling this, you know what will happen? We will focus on having what we need without working too hard. We'll be focusing on making our lives easier. If you look at what's going on in the world, life is not getting easy. Life was easier in in the 60s, wasn't it? That is why people were able to afford a lot of things. We found that they were able to afford cars, property, while they were not even working good jobs. Now it's hard, bro. Now people be working many jobs and they're still not able to afford the things that they want. Why? Why is it that we're not making life easy? What are the things that people really need? You know what people need? To be honest with you, they need shelter, right? Family, community, connection. These are the things that they really need. But somehow these things are very difficult to have in a room like this. So people work very hard to have these things. Like, yeah, if I had a lot of money, then I will have the things that I want. If these are the things that we want, and we know that these are the things that we want, but it's hard for us to get these things. So we must work more than we actually should. How can we not consider that slavery? If to have food, to eat, to be able to eat every day, you had to work for 5 hours just for food. I'm not talking about anything else, just to eat. Will that make sense? Will that not be slavery? You had to like work for 5 hours every day just to have food. Like for food alone, you have to work for more than five. Like obviously that will be slavery. There are things that we deserve just for existing. You don't have to work for these things. You just deserve these things. Whatever you do to get them won't even feel like work. But somehow you have to work for everything that you deserve. That tells you something. Slavery is normalized in this realm, and we're not talking enough about it. Coffee says, I hate that terror is the main force of motivation for everything. Bro, that's what that's what I've realized, and what I'm working on. That is why I'm telling you that it's important to choose love over fear. What I'm working on is responding more to what I love than what I fear. There's a reason why we are being made to be afraid. It's because if you are right, only fear can stop you. Right? You see? If I'm right, it means that I'm going to do things that are right. So what's going to stop me from doing things that are right is fear. I'm afraid to do what is right. I'm afraid to speak the truth. It's fear. So now I live life like those who are not interested in the truth. Now there's no difference between me and those who are interested in the truth. Is it? Envy is the main drive. I would like you to elaborate more, Jenny Martins. What do you mean envy is the main drive? Because I don't think it is. Tell me why you say that. I get mocked by everyone. Like, oh, get your ass together. I'm like, no. When always, no matter what you go through, always keep in mind that if you are trying to operate at a very, very high level of consciousness in a realm where you're not supposed to, you will always face challenges. As long as you're doing what this room wants, you'll be good. You know, if you want your life to be easy, stop pursuing truth. Your life will be easier. Just do what works. But really, if you're truly interested in the truth, you won't find joy in living a lie. There'll be a part of you that'll be like, this is just nonsense, bro. Like you will still want truth. So don't be afraid of what other people are saying or how they're treating you. Like as long as you are on the right path, don't be afraid. Let's see if I'm reading the right comments now. Where was I? Where was I? Trying to read a few comments before I continue. Oh, yeah. Here's where I was. Ashil Sharma says religions and spirituality all are given by the Creator God. Meditation connect with us, our spirit, not soul. We are in spirit Maya. We can't get out of the prison of Creator. Creator. Our mox is to vanish. Um, what's the best way to wake up from a dream? Let's say you're dreaming right now. What's the best way to wake up? If you were in someone else's dream, what's the best way to escape? I like this scene in the movie Inception where Leo went to the guy who was stuck in limbo and tried to remind him that he was in a dream. If you're stuck in a reality that you're not controlling you can tell that, no, man, I'm not really in control. What you must try to figure out is, what is the truth about this realm? What is this realm? If you can figure out what the real truth is, you will be able to wake up. You will be able to be free. If this is the dream of God, and you can know that for sure, it needs to go beyond philosophy. After you've done enough work, you must reach a level where you feel confident enough that you've done the work that you needed to do to figure out what the truth is, and what you have found out is the truth, and it feels true to you without any doubt. I think you can set yourself free that way. Like I told you, that I don't think whatever put us here is as powerful as we think it is. Its power relies primarily on our ignorance. If we don't know, that it's powerful. But if we know, then it's not powerful. A cult can have a person delusional, believing they're free. That's what this room is trying to do, is to make us delusional. A lot of people believe things that make zero sense, but they believe they're right. It's because truth is the enemy of this realm. So if we are delusional, we're not a threat. If we are delusional, we'll never be free, because we can't know the truth about ourselves. We can't know the truth about this realm. That's why I was telling you that religions are just distractions, really. That's why there's many religions, we'll be debating about which religion is true. We shouldn't even be debating about these things. It doesn't even make sense that we'll be debating about these things. We're supposed to be given the truth. We deserve it. So that tells you something. I'm not supposed to discover what religion is true. It's not even my job. I deserve the truth. I'm supposed to be told what the real truth is. I don't need to be reading thousands of books trying to figure out what the truth is, because there's never going to be a confirmation. I could read every religious book in the world, but I'll never realize what the truth is, because all these books are the same. They don't really provide proof for anything. It's just beliefs. So how am I going to find out what the real truth is if I'm just believing in these religions? You know what I'm saying? So it's all these religions are only here just to trap people. Period. What do you think about your ability to dream about the future? Happened to me many times now. I think I might have dreamt about the future maybe once or twice, but I've never. I don't really think it's something that happens to me like that. But I've had people say they do dream about the future. What I will say is this: I think we can predict the future. So because we can dream about it, because we can imagine it. You get what I'm saying? So I can predict maybe what's gonna happen to me next year based on, like, if I'm observing patterns. So what happens is I also dream about the things that I think are going to happen, and then they end up happening. So I think I'm dreaming about the future. That's what I think is actually happening when you dream about the future. We are in a dream. We are in a dream. We will vanish when soul will go back to supreme soul, which creator is not letting them. Um, that's the thing, man. it's the truth that's gonna help us wake up. It's actually the truth. One of my favorite movies, very underrated. It's called Vanilla Sky. This guy was stuck in a dream. What happened is that his face got messed up, so he told he wanted to be frozen until they find like someone who's gonna fix his face. So he was like, you know what? Because um we don't have like people who can actually reconstruct my face now. In the future, I do believe that there will be. So you keep me frozen until there is a person who can reconstruct my face because I don't want to die like this. Um, so there was this company that specialized in creating dreams for people. So if you wanted to be frozen, they'll ask you, what kind of dream would you like to have? You won't know that you're dreaming. What kind of dream would you like to have? And you'll tell them. So yeah, Tom Cruise. Yeah, the movie is starring Tom Cruise is the main character. So he decided to try that. So they created dream for him, but he got stuck in a dream. He didn't know what was reality and what was a dream, right? And things started going bad. Like something went wrong. So he was having a dream that was not good. So someone who works for the company had to go inside the dream and convince the guy that no, man, the whole thing is not real. And he couldn't believe it at first. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean this is not real? Like, no, it's actually a dream, and you have to take a leap of faith. I don't know how else to convince you. There's nothing I can do to convince you to wake up. You just have to trust me. So I think there are truths that we have to realize in order to wake up. I don't think you just wake up when you die. Like I think there has to be things that you realize for sure. Like, because the problem with death is that it can also be an illusion. So you could you could feel that you've died while you're still trapped in the matrix. This reminds me of the movie The Matrix itself. Neo was able to stop the machine with his hand while he was still in the matrix. I mean, not when he was not in the matrix, which begged the question: is Zion still like? Is it still in the matrix? Is it still a world created by the machine? So that should make you question whether dying is waking up to real reality, or you still be in a trap. If you're in a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream, you will wake up thinking that you've woken up while you're still in a dream. Like, oh, I've woken up, brush your teeth, do what you need to do. And then something happens and you wake up again. You're like, oh, damn, it was all a dream. Then you wake up again. I've had a dream within a dream within a dream. It's crazy. Until around 1 hour, 30 minutes, we need to go back to the main topic. We have better technology and conveniences, but life is harder. Yeah, that tells you something. I usually tell people that what truly matters in life is happiness, bro. In the future, we might have technologies that make everything possible. Maybe you'll be able to even read other people's minds. You'll be able to teleport, and that's not gonna make us happy. We didn't prioritize that. We're just distracted by technology, basically, that we forget to work on what we need to work on in order to be happy. We'll only become happy if we focus on truth. We focus on understanding what's going on, focused on relationships, focusing on understanding one another. But that's not what's happening. There's a reason why there are tribes that seem to be doing better than us. You find that there are no suicides in that tribe, no depression in that tribe, because they prioritize happiness. Like they want to be happy. That's what they're focusing on. Like, let's eat food, but let's also focus on being happy, right? But nah, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is slavery. Like, we're focusing on being slaves. Someone says if this world was to end, no one would fight it truly. Uh, those there will be people who fight, those who are like me, those who want it to continue. But yeah, I think there's a reason why when this South African guy Joshua, who said that the rapture was going to happen on the 23rd of last month, it didn't happen. And he said on the 7th and or then the 8th of October, it still didn't happen. There's a reason why a lot, like he got a lot of attention. It's because people are tired. They're like, yeah, man, the whole thing gotta end, you know. So now a lot of people who believed him are disappointed. I was wondering where the NPCs go when you are not around. Do they go to suspended reality or do they live normal life? Like, I'm wondering how the Matrix runs the background program. No, that's a good question, man. That's a very good question. I think they operate when they are being like, I think this is not physical. So let's say for an example, you go to a city where they're building something, but it's not being built by conscious beliefs. Just say it's being built by NPCs, and you go back to your hometown and then go back to the city a month later. You'd assume that they continue to build whatever they were building. But I think what happens is that no one is building it. When you go there, you will find what you expect. So it's not because it was built, but it's because it's what you expect or what you are supposed to see. You'll see what you're supposed to see, basically. So it's not that they will continue to build unless you're observing. So I think the NPCs just kind of like stop existing. They just exist when you see them. I think that's how it works because I don't think it's a material universe. If it was a material universe, I would say, yeah, they continue to build it. They don't go to sleep somewhere when you're not observing them. Um, but I do believe that we live with non-black characters, bro. We live with beings that don't have consciousness at all, like zero consciousness. Because some people think when I talk about NPCs, I'm referring to people who are just dumb or like, no, I'm saying that people with zero consciousness that you think are real. Someone says just because there's some goodness here doesn't mean that it's not hell. Of course, even in prison, bro. On Christmas, I think they're given good food. They're allowed to work out. They're allowed to be in the yard, play soccer. They're allowed to do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that it's not a prison. A prison is a prison, no matter what is allowed. Divine reality says something doesn't want us to know. 100%, bro. We are not supposed to know. All right, guys, let's keep on liking the lives because now I want to continue to talk about what I was talking about. So let's keep on liking the life. I'm going to take a short break and yeah, we'll keep this going. Oh, liking the life is actually important because when you like it, YouTube suggested to more viewers, which is a good thing. So let's keep on liking the life. Don't expect the enemy to fight fair. So, in a realm where it's obvious that you're not supposed to know anything and you're desperate to know, in a realm where you're not free, but you want to be free, in a realm where you're not happy, but you want to be happy, in a realm where you're controlled, but you don't want to be controlled, do you genuinely think if you want to be able to control your life, if you want to be free, if you want to know, if you want to be happy, that will be easy, that will be allowed? Or if you are fighting your best fight to be free, to be happy, to know, to understand, there will be forces behind the scenes that will make it harder for you. If you're trying to encourage people to wake up, do you think this room is going to be, oh, yeah, I'm actually loving what this guy is doing? It shows intelligence. No, don't expect the enemy to fight fair. Sometimes we forget that we're in a hell realm. Sometimes we forget that there are forces that don't want us to be free or don't want us to experience the reality the way that we want to experience it. So we look at reality and be like, uh, the things that we want to see happening can happen as long as we're doing the right thing, as long as we're integrous, as long as, like, no, it doesn't work that way. If you want the world to reward you, you need to do what it wants you to do. If you want to be free, then you need to do what this room doesn't want us, what it doesn't want you to do. I have to repeat that. If you want this world to reward you, if you want this world to give you money, love, success, attention, whatever you want, whenever your ego wants, You have to do what it wants. But if you want to be free, then you have to do what you really want to do. So it's up to you. What do you want? Like, what do you truly desire? You might feel like you desire to be rich. Are you sure? Are you sure that you don't only desire to be rich because of your ego, which is the self that was created within the realm? It's not even your real self. If you're a goat, you would want what goats want. But if I ask you now if you would want to come back here as a goat, you'll say no. If you became free, like you became free of ego, totally free of ego, you wouldn't want what this thing wants. You even be disgusted to be like, dang, what the hell did I want that in the first place? You get what I'm saying? Like, how? You only want the things that you want because you're here as a human. That's why you want the things that you want. You don't want the things that you want because you don't want the things that you want because you are that's what you would want if you were not a human, if you didn't have the feelings that humans have. Think I want you to think of this for a minute. Before you hit puberty, you probably weren't even interested in anything sexual. You didn't even know what it feels like. It didn't matter. It didn't bring you happiness. You even ask yourself, why do people like sex? But after your body changed and you started to respond to sex, you know, your whole life kind of revolved around it. I mean, not everyone, but the point that I'm trying to make is that you only want what you want because of this. If you were not in this form, you wouldn't even want the things that you want. So, really, do you want to be stuck in this form and entertain your ego? Or what you really want is freedom? So, it does matter, bro. It doesn't matter what you truly, truly desire. What I would say is that we need to focus more on what we truly desire, not what this ego wants, because that will keep us trapped. We will do a lot of things that are wrong, that ain't helping us, because we are trying to entertain the ego. There isn't anything that this realm can give you that's truly worth your soul. There isn't. Like nothing. There's nothing that this room can. Billions, bro. That's nothing. I remember there's a guy. He worked in one of the hospitals here in South Africa. They stole I think they stole around 2 billion. Not really sure. The money that's supposed to be helping patients, which is one of the coldest things that I've ever seen anyone do. So he was rich, lived in Santon, that's where people live around Gauteng. People who have money, they live in Santon. So he lived in Santon. He had a mansion, bro. Like, hey, his house was dope. He had Lamborghinis, like I think three Lamborghinis with the same color, bro. So yeah, after they discovered that he stole, he was one of the people who stole the 2 billion. They raided his house and took the Lambos and all of that. When I was watching the video and I saw the Lambos, I was like, what's dope about that? And why did this guy buy like the same Lambos with the same color? Why? Was he truly happy? Right? Like this was one of the biggest questions that I asked myself when I watched the video. Like, was the guy truly happy? Because this realm seemed to have given him what he wanted: a good house in a nice neighborhood, great cars. But what's he actually happy? I don't think there's anything that this realm is going to give you that's truly going to be worth it. I don't think that's how it works. I think the reason why we feel empty is because something is missing. We're slaves, and there's something that is missing, and we can't have access to it until we pursue truth. Pay attention to how you feel. It matters. Never allow people to come up with the fake spirituality, be like, hey, the only reason why you feel this way is because you don't meditate enough, and or the reason why you feel this way is because uh you're negative, or because, like, no, chill. Don't let anyone gaslight you. I do believe that we're not even reacting the way that we're supposed to be reacting to what is going on. Don't feel bad for how you feel. Just try to be strong, right? Try to be as resilient as possible. Don't be like, I must be feeling better than I'm feeling. Try to be resilient. You being resilient will help you set yourself free. And as you become free, you feel better. Like, don't force yourself to be okay with things that you shouldn't be okay with. Because I think that's just the kind of advice that we're being given by people. Like, be okay with this. Be like, no, if something is not okay, it's not okay. I must be able to see that, oh, this is not okay. I don't like this. I'm not comfortable with this. I shouldn't pretend to like what I don't like just to please others, or just to seem normal. If something doesn't seem to be okay or doesn't feel okay, I mustn't pretend as if it is. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make. We force ourselves to be okay with things that we're not okay with. So that makes our experience very, like, you know what happens actually, things become worse and we don't fix anything because we're pretending to be okay with things that we're not okay with. It gets to a point where people uh are competing about who's okay, who's more okay, basically. It's like, yeah, man, I know the world is this way, but I'm okay. Are you more okay than me? I'm more okay than you, bro. Look at what I have. I just bought a new car. I just bought this. I got this. I got that. So I'm definitely more okay than you are. Like, no, people will be pretending. If you get to know what people are going through, you'll be surprised. It's very normal for people to pretend in this realm. It's very normal for people to pretend in a room where things ain't the way that they seem. Don't expect the enemy to fight fair. You'll fight fair. The reason why you fight fair is because you know one's enemy. You're just trying to be free. But does this realm want you to be free? If this realm wanted us to be free, we would know a lot by now, bro. We will know a lot without any doubt. Like, there will be things that we know for sure with zero doubt. Like, this is the truth. But there's nothing that you know. Shouldn't we know by now how the whole thing started? We're only given theories about how the whole thing started. Everything is what if. I remember that's what Hobson said on his song. I think it's "Ill Mind" of Hobson 7. It was like everything is what if, the afterlife. What if? Like, dude was angry. It's like, I'm fucking done. Everything is what if, bro. You don't know anything for sure. You can't tell me that this is a good realm if we can't know anything for sure. That can be a good thing. Our pain, our suffering comes from the fact that we don't know anything. We're creating fake religions because we don't know anything. Theories about realities because we don't know anything. We are not headed toward the right direction because we don't know anything. That is the problem. If we knew what is really going on, we'll probably be united as humanity, because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy. It's not about pushing some agendas. The problem is that because we don't know what's going on, people are trying to find happiness even in things that are not helping us build as a collective. It's one of the biggest problems. The enemy isn't fighting fair. The enemy knows that we don't know nothing, and the enemy wants to keep it that way, that we don't get to know anything. Let's check the comments. This life cannot stand honesty and innocence. All right, so I'm coming back to read some of the comments. Um, let's keep it going. Let's like the life. The good thing about liking this life is that more and more people are gonna be able to watch it. So that's a good thing. Let's keep on liking the life. Let's keep on commenting. Tell me what you want me to talk about now on this life. I'm gonna come back in a while. I prayed to God for a new bike. I kept praying, but then I realized that's not how God works. So instead, I stole the bike and then asked God for forgiveness instead. This is actually funny. But it also creates suffering in this room, man. It creates more suffering because no one wants to be stolen from. But yeah, man, you make me laugh when you say you realize that it's not how God works. You're right about life. It rewards sinful deeds. Mhm. There's a reason why they say it's only the good guys who win. Like some of these codes don't come from, and it's only the bad guys who win, not the good guys. Like these code, like people have had real experiences, and there's a reason why these codes are very popular. Someone says this life cannot stand honesty and innocence. If you don't believe what this person is saying, this life cannot stand honesty and innocence. Be honest to any person that you've never been honest with, and you realize what's going to happen. Be honest where you work. Be honest to your boss. Be honest to your parents. Be honest to your partner. Be honest to your friends. This realm is shaken by honesty. That is why I'm telling you that intellectual honesty is important. Be as intellectually honest as possible. This realm will crumble. Like, don't be afraid, bro. Don't be afraid to be intellectually honest. You'll see. Does being able to expose evil stuff prove that something more divine exists? Um, that's a very good question. I would say that because as conscious beings, we are powerful. That proves that what we truly want is to be free. What I think is, okay, let me give you this simple example. Let's say we get kidnapped and we put in an island. We're made to forget everything about ourselves, and they tell us lies about our existence and make us do evil things. But some of us are like, you know what? This is not how we're supposed to live. What does that prove? That proves that we are conscious. So, because of our level of consciousness, we're able to tell what's wrong and what is right, what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So, I wouldn't say that it proves that something that is more divine exists. What it really proves is that this is not where we belong. Do you hear what I'm saying? This proves to that we, we can. The reason why we're able to imagine a better world is because this is in it, right? This is more like a prison. Like if you were trapped in prison for real, like in an actual uh, prison that they've created in this room, there will be a part of you that will know beyond any reasonable doubt that something wrong is going on, even if you didn't remember getting convicted, right? You know what freedom, like you would imagine freedom if you're intelligent, if you're conscious, unless you're not conscious. What about it giving you the knowledge you have today? Maybe it is giving you what you want, in that you see this room for what it is. I would say to even reach this level of understanding, I don't even want to call it knowledge, but I would say I had to literally fight against reality itself. You hear what I'm saying? Like I didn't reach the level of awareness by this level of awareness by complying, by doing what the realm wanted. I reached this level of awareness by being a rebel. You see? So I wouldn't say it's this realm giving me, or like this level, like allowing me to reach this level of consciousness. It's me fighting, you know, and it's not what is needed. That's not what is wanted for this room to thrive. Souls are hypnotized and attached to the mind of creator. They are dreaming, bro. They don't care about suffering of humans. Whatever benefits from our suffering will not care that we're suffering, right? That's the thing. So it's us who have to liberate our souls. It's either beliefs of divided perception of the two eyes or the first eye of within knowing. Can you elaborate more? Seth, my enemies are just co-workers with silly animal brains. It's funny. It is exhausting to be around zombies. 100%. Pain is the only friend in the hell realm. It's always loyal to you. It's always honest. When pain comes, you never have to question if it's fake. Pain is the teacher. Yeah, someone said, I think this other philosopher said, pain is the best teacher. Divine reality, I don't know how to explain it other than you have to be on them to understand. If we all had big money, our treatment would be better. It's sad. But the thing is, man, no matter what you can have, there will still you still feel like depending on your level of conscience, but you will still feel like something isn't right. No matter what you can get, no matter how much money you can make, if you're operating at a high level of awareness, you will still feel it. That nah. The biggest problem is that we are in a realm where we are being controlled. We are in a realm that wasn't created for us to thrive. So no matter what you get to have, as long as it's a product of this realm, it can never truly set you free. You can have it all, but it still won't set you free. What you need is to wake up. What you need is the truth. What you need is to know. That's what's going to wake you up. There's a reason why I make videos explaining why this is a hell room. I'm trying to make people aware of how badly they're being treated here. I think it's important. You know, do you know that if you're not very conscious, you could be abused, you could be getting abused and not even realize that that is what is happening to you. I remember giving you guys this example that when I was working as a teacher, there'll be people who will come to our schools and talk to the students about abuse. And these students had no clue, some of them had no clue that they were being abused. And they'll say, yeah, if you feel like what we're saying resonates with you, come talk to us privately, and they'll go and talk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make people aware that the way that we're being treated in this reality is not right. Why? So that we can thrive, so that we can set ourselves free, so that we can have better experiences at the end of the day, you know? To even be able to create a better world within the hell realm, we must be able to see how bad it is. If we already think this is good, if we already think that this is not hell, how are we going to be able to create a better world? And how are we going to wake up? How are we going to feel the pain that we need to learn the truth? Like someone said, that pain is the biggest teacher. You feel pain because you realize the truth. You realize that you're not as free as you want to be. Benedict, I have love for you, brother. Thank you for help making this possible. Much love, chat. And thank you, for joining. Have you ever witnessed someone die? You have known them your whole life. You think about the life they lived, then you think, damn, what was that? Uh, what was the meaning of all that? Yeah, man. I've experienced that with my father because my father passed away last year. Um, yeah, that made me question a lot of things. That made me question a lot of things. Because my dad was okay like a month before he died. He just became very sick. All of it was sudden, like it happened in a very short space of time. But yeah, when he died, it did make me ask myself a lot of questions. Like, can I say he lived a meaningful life? Yeah, he has children and people find meaning in that. But it makes you question if other people find meaning, if it really ends up making sense. Um, this reminds me of this other video. It was animated, like animation, where they showed life like in 1 minute, like what life is in like 1 minute. You're born, go to school, find a job, retire, get older. Like the way that they show everything is it's actually painful. Like it shows you how meaningless the whole thing is. Because it's not like big things happen to people every day. It's not like meaningful things happen every day. Usually it's meaningless things that happen. You find that every day is the same for 2 years. And then maybe something major happens, and then every day is the same for another 2 years. Something major happen, everything is the same for 5 years. So not a lot is happening. Like things are usually the same for everyone in this room. If you're addicted to a place you're not meant to be, then the suffering is actually trying to wake you up. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love what you just said. I wish I could like these comments, but you're right. If you're addicted to something that is not good for you, you suffering is a sign that you need to wake the f up. It's a sign that you need to find freedom. It's a sign that something is wrong. You're addicted to something that is wrong for you, right? And it's not the easiest thing to realize. I mean, we 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 become very highly addicted to things very easily in this realm. you know like if you get addicted to drugs, you suffer because of that. And you might think like it's crazy how we'll get addicted to something like drugs, and when we suffer, your body is changing, and you can tell that you're not okay, but you still so it's the same thing. It's like this thing is torturing us, this thing is abusing us, right? But we're very addicted to it. We're very addicted to the things that are happening, things that are keeping us distracted, instead of uh being brave enough to follow, to want truth, to follow our own intuition, to evolve. you know, to focus on what our souls needs than what our egos need. Like it was cool to know some facts of this place, but I really don't think the game is worth it. The whole thing is just not what it seems, man. Like everything Benedict is talking about now is laughable. What do you mean, Victorian? Down with capitalism. The more I know, the less I seem to know. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's a lot that we don't know. Like when you were young, you thought that the truth was obvious, right? You thought the truth was straightforward, and once you realize it, that's it. But the more you realize the truth, the more you realize the damn. There's a lot that I still have to know. And then it keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. And it makes you wonder, where does it end? Thank you so much for this super thanks. That's amazing. Very true. Happy to catch your life. Now, thank you. I'm taking a very short break. Let's keep on liking the life. Let's keep it going. Now I think it's around. I'm actually glad that a lot of people were able to catch on because it's still very early in the morning here in South Africa. It's like 9 past 7. I just woke up and I had a dream that made me want to do this live. I was like, no, I have to talk about this. So yeah, I'll be back. Let's just keep on liking the life. The more you like the life, the more people get to watch it. So let's keep this going. Thank you. Sunrise is a cast to know I woke up in the hell room again. No, it's crazy that like nothing new really happens. You get what I'm saying? Like that around 6 o'clock the sun is gonna be coming up. Because I can see the sun now, so you know that the sun is gonna be coming up around around 6 p.m. Then around 5:30 p.m. the sun will be going down. Like every day is like the same. You know what to expect. And I think that's why one of the reasons why people are bored. It gets boring, right? So now you want to experience new things. But yeah, man, it's important to realize that this is not what we truly want. Don't take your suffering for granted. If you're suffering and you tell yourself that, oh, I'm only suffering because there's something wrong with me, even if that's not the truth. Suffering is usually a sign that something is wrong. And most of the time, you don't suffer because you're doing something wrong. Most of the time, you suffer because something is wrong, not because you are doing something wrong. And it's pain is what's going to awaken you. Pain is what's going to make you realize that, oh, something is totally wrong, right? But if you're not feeling any pain, and things like there are a lot of things that are wrong that are happening, then you will just think that, oh, whatever is going on is good because you're not feeling any pain. I'm not saying to suffer is a good thing, but also realize that there's a message within suffering. There is something that your own suffering is telling you that you might not be paying close attention to, right? Because we we like to blame ourselves. We like to be like we love to be in control, so we blame ourselves for bad things that are happening in our lives. You know, it's one of the biggest problems. It's funny how we can see how it all plays out like that. We in the same time zone, being time. I'm just up north. So you mean to tell me that you were not sleeping the whole time, or you woke up and then you caught the life? But I actually started the life at 5, so it's understandable. People wake up at 5. I'm bored a lot and really get inspiration. Yeah, you know what sucks about this, because like things are the same. You get used to these things. Nothing gets to be that interesting anymore. If you're experiencing the same things every day and you're getting older, everything becomes boring. That is why people who are older are bitter, bro. Ever found a bitter old man? Like, dude, you can see it in his face. The dude is bitter. Dude is angry. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it does get boring at some point if you've been experiencing the same things over and over again. Like it gets to a point where you're just used to it, right? It will be like watching the same movie over and over again. Maybe when you watch it the first time, you'll kind of like it. Watch it for the second time, you still be like, oh, that's a good movie. Watch it the third time, you're like, yeah, it's a good movie, but why should I keep on watching it? Watch it for the fourth time. And you watch it for like a thousand times, like you'll be too damn annoyed. So I think that's what's happening, is that life is kind of like repeating itself in different ways. It's like there's no more creativity in this realm, right? Like life is not creative enough. So because we're experiencing the same things, we automatically become bored. It's sad because when we have moment of happiness, it's short-lived. But when something painful happens, it stays with you. Yeah, that's one of my biggest problems, bro. That when bad things happen, it's like you are traumatized for life. You are traumatized for life. You can't just, how hard it is to heal from trauma, to actually become okay after you've experienced something traumatic. But if you experience pleasure, it ends right there. Even if you think about it, you don't kind of like feel happy. You know what I'm saying? But if you experience something traumatic, it's like whenever you think about it, you feel pain that you don't forget. You just keep on feeling pain. But when you think about things that happened that were good, you stop. You don't feel you don't feel you don't re-experience the pleasure, I guess. Yeah, I woke up at like 4. I don't know why. Yeah, even like me today, when the thing is, it had to do with the dream that I had. Have you had a lot of pain and suffering? Yes. Sometimes suffering can be so unbearable that you you can't even stay in one place. Like, you always want to keep yourself busy. Like, I've experienced pain that I didn't think was possible to experience. Ever experienced pain that you're like, damn, this is impossible? Like, ever since I was born, I'm 25, I've never experienced this kind of pain, because I thought I knew pain. So yeah, I have experienced pain, man. I've experienced pain. Pain is this realm. So in my opinion, we should constantly seek pleasure. You are who you are. Um Thanks, divine reality. Thanks for the super thanks. I had a nightmare that my mom died at a hospital by getting killed by a nurse's hell room. Yeah, the fact that we have nightmares is one of the biggest signs that something is off, right? Why do you have nightmares? It's not like we want to have nightmares. I don't think there's a person who goes to sleep and then be like, I want to have a nightmares. Everyone want to have a good dream. If you're having a good dream and they wake you up, you're gonna be mad. Ever had a dream so good that when people wake you up, you mad? Like, why did you wake me up? I was I was at a beach, bro. Like, I was having fun and you wake me up. Why? Like, yeah, someone says we can't even relax in our sleep. It sucks, man. When you're sleeping, that's the time that you truly must be resting. But in this realm, that even that is not allowed, you know. But thank you guys for joining the live. Today we're not gonna go on Discord. Let's keep on liking the video so that people will be able to watch it. Um, yeah, it is one of the best lives that because I think it has to do with the fact that I was sleeping and I just woke up and I couldn't sleep because of the dream. So I was like, yeah, let me do this live. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, let's keep on choosing love over fear. That's really, really important. And let us keep on growing. Thank you, guys.